So I just ordered an inexpensive replacement online, and
cool. That'll make her very happy.
I'll tell you what, those jeweler screwdrivers of yours came in really handy yesterday.
What's that?
I said your jeweler screwdrivers came in really handy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the
mine are dull.
Ones?
Yeah, mine are dull out in the shop. I couldn't even. But I had a.
Yeah, perfect. That's why I have them, man.
And the spring wasn't broke on that. It's what happened. She dropped it and it popped the screw, and so I, you know, I had one of those pivot points where the screws were like screwed in just into holes, you know.
Yeah.
And I got it back in there. I got the spring. That was the hardest part, hooking the spring back.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that thing. I mean, it was in pretty bad shape, but.
Well, it's amazing, you know, people buy stuff like that online for $100 new, and then they, you know, it works really well for them until they drop it.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a $50 guitar. Or a Gibson Les Paul.
Oh, Dustin, he's like
$2,500 Gibson Les Paul.
You know, his Strat that I sold him, he is an incredible guitar, but he needs he needs a Les Paul. Yeah,
I haven't seen him for quite a while, and that one's here. I brought it here just so maybe it'll get played, and you know, for somebody just like him. You know, he was saying that I'm not playing much anymore, and I was like, well, if you buy this guitar, you will. If you don't, I'd have to come over and slap you. You know?
Yeah, he's such a good kid.
He is. He's
the first day I met him, he was about 3 feet tall.
Yeah, he did lessons with you for years.
Yes, absolutely. It was our little weekly get together, and
and he was talking about that too. He's like, I should come in and do some more lessons. I was like, yeah, you really should.
Yeah, he really enjoyed it. It was almost like a learning adventure, but it was also like a social club for him. You know? All right, well, I'm going to go out, and I just got to yell at Chris real quick, and I'll be right back in.
Okay.
I do have to go to the bank here in a minute. So,
no problem.
But let me take care of this thing with Chris first.
Okay. Well, welcome to the bench today, everybody that's here. I just had to go for it. I'm busy. Got to get this thing done. This is a 51 Tele body. This is a 69 Telecaster neck. There's the number on that if you can read that, and the 9 I believe stands for 69. It's over on the far right hand side. The reason this neck was replaced, unfortunately, is because when the gentleman who owns this guitar bought the guitar, it had a Stratocaster neck on it, and so he bought this neck and bought the guitar as a parts caster ultimately. And so we are, it's been modified and changed dramatically over its life. So what I've done since yesterday is I put the, I'll show you down here, I put the original, this is the original 51 pickup that, it's a 51 Telecaster pickup that was rewound by Lindy Fralin at Fralin Pickups. Here's the box that it came back to me in. So then, you know, if you know Lindy or about his pickups, you know how respected he is in the guitar world. I'm not a big pickup person, meaning I don't have a lot of faith in pickups having some kind of magic in them, just for the sake of argument, but I also have not, in my own personal instruments, swapped out a lot of pickups. So, but the fact that this is one that was built in 1951 is a pretty special thing. It's very old, and it has been rewound. So, Lindy knows the output of those pickups. I have not measured it. It doesn't matter to me. We're not going to change anything about that. So that detail is very unimportant, but it does work in this guitar. I've got it all wired in, and so what I'm doing is I'm tying the shielding in together with the rest of the guitar. Before I get too much further with my soldering project here, I will show you what is happening with this instrument. It has, and it's difficult because they don't leave a lot of, there's not a lot of excess wire to move stuff around. This is about as far as I can move that, which kind of sucks. So it's got shielding on the pick guard, which is great, and it's got shielding paint in the body cavity that somebody did. I think it was definitely done by somebody other than us here at the shop, but the conductive paint definitely works. But as you can see, none of the paint overlaps the top edge of the body of the guitar, so there's no conductivity to the copper shielding tape that's been used on the top of the guitar. So and also the shielding does it is conductive from this cavity to this cavity, right? You can see, I'll show you my meter down here. Hopefully you can see that clearly. Let me move this so you can kind of see both here. I'm going to try and do this as best I can. It does not, it's conductive from here to here, and it also, I put new shielding tape and overlapped the top of the guitar to get shielding and grounding, so that all makes conductivity. And obviously there's no conductivity here yet, but from the control cavity to the pickup cavities there's no shielding. And so what I am doing is I've run a piece of green ground wire between the pickup or the control cavity and the pickup cavities, which I know are conductive between them, and I know that this copper shielding is conductive, so we've got it all shielded except for this shield on the top was not shielding tied into the bottom paint, nor is the pickup cavity tied to the cover of the pickup cavity, and it is not tied to either of the pickup cavities. So ultimately the shielding is almost useless in this, the way it's been done. So I have run a small piece of green wire in between the control cavity and the pickup cavity now, and I'm going to do a little bit of I'm going to tin the copper shielding wire here. Let me get my, and there's not a lot of room, you can't move this very far. It's kind of a bummer that somebody wired it like that, but that's the way it goes. We got to deal with that. I'm not going to change any of that. So, and I know you can't see what I'm doing right now because I can't move that the ashtray. It's not an ashtray, but we'll call it an ashtray just for history's sake, because the thing has a Bigsby on it, so it can't have the typical ashtray in it. And we're going to go ahead and I'll try and show you this once I'm done here. Get this wire connected. There we go. There we go. So that's all done. Now I'll have to move my camera over here so you can see what I've done here. So I've connected this cavity. These two cavities are connected, conductive. This piece of copper wire is conductive from the cavity to the bridge. I'll call this a bridge, although this is the bridge ultimately. This is a pickup holder. And let's see. Well, yeah, this is the bridge because I've got the bridge in a paper or plastic bag here. And then I've got this overlapped here so that this and this will conduct to the shielding on the top. So ultimately, the shielding in this was kind of done ineffectively. Yeah. Now let's test what I've done here. We'll do the exact same thing. So I did test between this and this without this wire hooked up, and there was no conductivity there. So let's fire this back up and let's see if I have maybe solved the conductivity part between the control cavity and the pickup cavities, which is what, if you're going to shield a guitar, you got to do it that way. Otherwise you're kind of doing something useless. Boom. Now I'm just touching the conductive paint. This is copper colored conductive paint inside here, and I'm running from the paint to the paint, and I've got conductivity. So now also on the pickup or on the control cavity, I have run some conductive copper tape over the edge here. So when I put this back in, which I'm doing right now, and you're watching me do this. Again, this is a 51 Tele body. This is a pretty old guitar. It's had a nice long life. I love the fact that these knobs are, and the guy that owns this thing is an amazing guitar player. Let's see, I gotta find the right screws here. Got where? So this screw will go here, and this screw will go here. I have my screws kind of. So now I've got the shielding from the inside of the body cavity all throughout, and the shielding, including the metal cover and the metal cover on this, are all going to be tied together. Now, we'll test that after I'm done putting all the screws in here. Make sure that I'm correct in my assumption that all of the metal parts are conductive. We'll make sure of that. And I'm running the screw through the copper tape. That's another good way to make sure that this is conducting to the inside cavity of that. So if you're doing this, run the conductive tape over the screw holes and run your screw down through the conductive tape, and then there's another assurance that you're going to have the guitar shielded correctly. Now, I want to make sure I'm not twisting that, and I did not. Everything is, oop, what did I lose here? Alright, I just discovered that this one piece of wire has come loose.
All the ways across to here.
Yeah, it went. It actually went to there, but maybe. Let's see what do. Boy, I do not like how
I think that it went to this hole right here, if I remember rightly.
Well, it was going over to this.
It was, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they do balls, so.
Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna.
Once it's sandwiched in there.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. This wire is not long enough. None of them are. I'm gonna try and give myself some slack. We gotta fix what we.
While you're in there, right, buddy?
Gosh, man.
Yeah, that's been touched by so many people. It's not even funny.
Yeah, you see all the original screw holes in here, and the original through the body. What do you call them?
The ferrules?
Scutcheons or whatever.
The ferrules?
Ferrules, there we go. I just realized that this piece of copper broke. It's pretty fragile. And it was run over to this. I know that it was attached to this when I got the guitar. So now, if I can get it down in... I got to get it into one of these holes. Aren't even used, so I got to get it into one of these three holes to make it stay proper. So let's piece of wire is so short.
Yeah,
it's not. I can see how in this. I can see why and how somebody would have done this, and it's a great idea. But now I may have to pull the okay, so the next guy that works on this guitar is going to hate me for this. And guess who the next guy that works on this guitar is going to be?
I'm going to run to the bank. I'll be right back. I'll be
Sounds
real quick.
Good. Sounds good. Doggone it. Okay, now always leave extra wire. This is why you're watching me have to struggle with something that should not even be close to being a struggle. Okay. Because I should have been done with this by now. So I'm having to struggle with this because somebody else did something wrong ultimately in my book. Let's see, where is my flathead screwdriver? My flathead screwdriver was borrowed yesterday and it's missing from my bench now, so now I need to go find my tool that somebody else used, and I know somebody else borrowed it because they told me they borrowed it. Dang it. I don't mind folks borrowing my tools, but I do mind folks not putting them back. It'd be much easier to do this with a flathead screwdriver, because what I've got a problem now is getting all the wires to fit inside the pickup cavity. Okay, now I'm getting awful darn close. Is this gonna go? There we go. I got it. I got it. All right, now I know that that wire is down, and the screw is going to create the conductivity between the cover and the grounding that's happening throughout the entire interior of this guitar. So long as this little piece of wire that's in here doesn't break, and we shall see. Which it should be pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead. I usually don't run the screw in all the way, but in this case I want to, just to make sure that wire doesn't pop loose. Clayton, hey man, good to see you. Forgive me for you guys for not paying attention to the chat. I've got to stay busy here. Empirism, hello man, long time no see. Hugh, hello. Tele with the Bigsby, yep. I'm just taking a look at the chat here. Yeah. Looks like a 57 Chevy, yep. It's older than a 57 Chevy, this body is. And it is believed, we can see a little bit of the original wood here that's exposed. This was painted by a guy that paints cars, and I'm not removing any of the dust bunnies in this thing. They're staying. I'm going to leave this thing as original as I can, and so these dust bunnies are going to stay. There's a couple inside this cavity, but yeah, this is supposedly a 51, and I believe that it's the owner of this guitar believes that it is an ash. Ooh, I gotta make sure I'm putting the correct screws in here. Let's see. Oh yes, okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here I've made a mistake. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this screw off. Drive this one down here. I put the wrong screw in the wrong hole. Right. So, boy, I hope I didn't break that. Let's just check conductivity between the top of this, just to check our work as we go. Might as well make sure that we're doing our job right. Let's make sure. Yep, we got conductivity. Okay, so I know that the ground is connected to this right here, and it should stay connected because the wire is touching the bottom of this, but I don't like to rely on that. I like to have an actual physical connection, meaning this screw hitting the wire itself. I prefer that over just relying on, although Fender's been doing that for decades. That piece of wire looks good. Give me a moment. Oh yes. Oh no. Okay. Forgive me. I was right. Doggone it. No power tools. Give me a moment. I got to check. Of course, I'm here by myself, and that's the moment somebody will walk into our shop needing my help. How you doing, man?
Good.
What can we do for you?
Well, I wanted to see if some music came in for me.
Okay.
I was promised several days ago that it would be in tomorrow, it was the day before yesterday.
What are we looking for?
Little feet?
Little feet. Yeah, we didn't have a phone number for you.
Oh,
Or
well,
the phone number that we had didn't work.
okay, well, anyway, and how about a fog hat?
I'm sorry?
Fog hat?
On CD?
Yeah, I would, one of those also. That's okay.
We just ordered that for
Yeah,
you?
it was supposed to be over. Well, that's okay, I 50%. Oh, yeah.
Keep the price on that. I'll have to look that up.
I just have a delivery for you.
Oh, okay, what are you bringing?
Television. It's 19 pound carry.
That one's gonna be $19.99. We'll call you, and we got, is there
That's the
no
right number there. 5365.
5365? We got people here that have chicken scratch.
Yeah, you know my right to cut off.
Right, Mike, yeah, he's terrible. Okay, we'll call you, and I got your number written down. They probably dialing 5363.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
It's okay.
okay, excellent. You're all ready to go. Okay. All right, here you go. Give me just a second. I'll come out and help. Okay, so you guys, I apologize. I apologize. This will happen. Anytime I go live, people will leave the shop, and I'm left here by myself. I have to go help load a television in, and so I had to sell a CD at the meantime that other people didn't mark the prices down. I got to do. It takes me 10 times longer to do a job that should have been done already. So I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the facts. So I'll be back as soon as I can. I've got to go carry a television in because I'm here by myself. All right, I'll be right back. You can look at this, adore this beautiful Telecaster while I'm busy carrying a television. There you go. There it is. Let's turn this off so my battery doesn't die. All right. Okay.
What about buying my husband a car?
to the guitar for the question. I have a lot of acoustic guitars in stock right now.
I saw that. I want to get like 2 small ones or 3 for my grandkids.
Oh yeah, okay. Grandkids.
Oh yeah.
What?
I got a order in one house.
Okay. I don't have any grandkids yet.
I was a young girl.
Yeah.
We started
I
young.
would have been. I was 21.
I was 15.
That explains. Yeah, and these are all ukuleles here.
Yeah.
But built for a smaller scale guitar for a youngster. These ones, oops.
Oh no, they're babies. They're 3, 2,
little.
and 1.
Well,
I'm
these,
kind of scared they're gonna break.
yeah, these ukuleles are more designed for young people
Okay.
that get their hands on a string instrument, and if they break it,
It's not that
the end of the
expensive.
world. Whereas one of these,
They're like 50, right?
what's that?
These are $50.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're really cool. These are going to be in the price. And with regard to guitars,
I want to get a pretty decent one for them because one of my grandkids broke his guitar. He fixed guitars.
yeah,
So they dropped a whole bunch of liquid and cough drops down this part of the guitar and broke like 2 strings off.
oh, that's not that big of a
He has a
deal.
pretty nice guitar. And they ruined it.
Well, what I would recommend, next time you're over this way, you can't bring the guitar with you, you let me look at it and assess, because it might be a whole lot cheaper fixing that one, especially if it's like a Martin or a Tele or something.
I'm not exactly sure what it is.
It doesn't, that doesn't matter. The best guitar in the world is one that's set up right. I don't care if you pay $50 for it or pay $50,000 for it. $50,000 guitar can be a POS.
Yeah.
Whereas I can take a $50, any one of these, I'll hand that to Eric Black and he'll be happy for it, just because it's done right,
Yeah.
string action, all that stuff. So, bring it with you the next time. And just on kind of on that same note, you do have these guys here, these Tetons, and this one being cutaway. These are the ones that prefer folks to get, because you got the upper register, but not a rule. And we have it in the two of them.
How much is that one right here? The very first one?
That's actually an acoustic bass.
Oh.
That probably.
You can see I don't.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Now you know.
Because there's less strings on.
What's that?
What makes it different? It's just there's
Well-
less strings or the tone.
Yeah, tone, pitch. Yeah, and 4 strings versus 6, and these are generally made for playing, obviously, the bass notes in a song.
Yeah.
Lots of famous songs that started with a bass line. So, but yeah, an acoustic guitar. And the other thing is that if it's possible to bring your husband here,
Maybe one day, yeah.
ideally,
You're not that far from us. You're like an hour and a half.
you said
Utah.
yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much
it's about an hour and a half drive. You know, and if you do it, the days are
That's a ferrule in my world. All right. I hope the sound and video is working good for you. And I'm sorry I lost so many people. I try and do these streams as efficiently as I can when I have people here, but we're very short-handed. Everybody here is sick, and it happens. Really a bummer. Okay. Now, let me get this in here. Whoops. Boy. I'm a little worried that this pickup is going to be too high. It's not wanting to go down any further. I'm going to go ahead and put a string on here and we'll see where it's at. It's never simple. There's always a little more you got to do. I'm hoping that that pickup is not up too high or too close to the strings when I get strings on here. And he's going to use Ernie Ball Slinkies, which we're going to use a set of Ernie Ball regular Slinky 10s on this guitar. I got to go get a couple sets. Curious for anybody who might still be watching. I know I've lost a lot of views on this video, but because of the interruption of my work. But I had to get other stuff done. People needed my help. What kind of strings do you use, and how much are you paying for them? I'm curious, and I love how Ernie Ball has put plastic inside of their string bags. So it makes them really difficult to open, and it creates a whole lot more waste and destruction of our what is it called? Climate, and a bunch of garbage that we get to put in landfills. It's tragic. I wish it would have not done that, but I'm sure it probably preserves the strings for them a little bit longer. Now, this is a Bigsby, so this is my method for putting the strings on a Bigsby. Now, I am not a fan of Bigsby whammy bars. I just think they're tuning problems. They sound cool and all, but okay. I just don't like them. I have one guitar with a Bigsby on it. Let's see if I can. And also with Ernie Ball strings, if you've got a guitar with a Bigsby on it, the strings are cut really way too short. So your treble E string is really hard to get onto the guitar because you don't have enough length.
Hey Marshall.
Hey, what's happening?
Good, man. Is Mike here?
No, he's out sick.
Okay.
What's happening?
Just wanted to see if he was here.
No, he and his grandson got a nasty virus.
How long has he been sick?
2 days now he's been gone.
Okay. So he might come back tomorrow?
Yeah, he hasn't given us any idea on when he'll be back, but I hope to see him soon. I did see him yet. I went by his house and checked on him.
When, today?
No, yesterday.
Okay.
He was not well.
Okay.
He's definitely got something nasty.
Wanted to thank you again for that work you did on my acoustic, man.
What's that?
I wanted to thank you again for the work you did on my acoustic electric.
My pleasure.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it, man. That's a nice guitar.
And I know you took care of it.
Yeah, those
I
things.
just got really paranoid because I never had an acoustic electric like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, and I have a lot of, like this guitar, this is a 1951 Fender Telecaster.
Yeah.
This thing, the body alone is probably worth, I don't know. How much would you pay for a 1951 Fender Tele? I'm just asking folks because I'm doing a live stream working on this thing.
Oh.
You know, 51 Tele, if you had an original one, this is not original by any stretch, but you know, they'd be worth 5 digits easily, 30 to 60
Just
grand.
for the body?
For a full guitar.
Okay.
Yeah. This one, just the body. If you were to try and buy a body from a 51, this one's been altered beyond belief. But he could still, if he could prove that it's a 51, which there's no photographs of the original serial numbers or pencil. It's been painted, which sucks. But this for 10 grand, probably just for the body, easily. They're very, very sought after instruments.
How'd you get this one here?
It belongs to a guy who bought this guitar in 1979 or 80.
79, he bought it in 79.
And it was already, it had already been altered beyond, you know, its original state. So unfortunately, not a whole lot we can do about. We can't put it back, make it original. It's just not an option at this point. I mean, we could make it look original, certainly, but
You want to keep doing your live stream?
what's that?
You want to keep doing your live stream?
Yeah, I'm doing it. That's
Oh, you are? Okay.
People just. I just talk. If I'm working,
Oh, okay.
they can enjoy the conversation or whatever. Nobody seems to have anything to hide. You know, and talking about this kind of stuff is people might learn something. You know, which is cool.
All right, man. Well, if you see Mike, tell him I say hello.
What's that?
If you see Mike Mallory, tell him I say hello.
I will tell him you stopped in. Okay. All right. How are you doing? Everything going good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Doing well.
Good. Yeah. Okay. I'll let him know you stopped in.
Okay.
Okay, brother.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Yep. Have a great day. Oh, let's see.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. So I think that the way this is looking, I think that pickup is gonna be okay with respect to the height, the lowest height that I can get it at. See, I'm not a fan of these saddles. So we got to get it. Okay, so I'm able to tilt this up. I don't know. I don't like the way this is set up. I wish I could. Maybe we can do something about that.
Yeah, just write a check when you get a chance and then text it on the side.
1, 2, 3. Bigsby's. Here's why I don't like Bigsby's on and using Ernie Ball slinky strings, because I might be able to get that through there. Come on, baby. Because the strings will go just like wires. You go anywhere but where you want them to go. Okay, so I kind of got it. Let's go. Let's see if I got this. Okay. Bigsby's add a whole lot of length that's needed with regard to the length of the string, and Ernie Ball cuts them about as short as they can get away with, which is great, I guess, for conservation, but for putting strings on a guitar loaded with the Bigsby, I'm sorry guys, you could add an inch and that'd be fine. That's what she said, right?
All right. See you later.
Are you gonna leave? Okay.
I remembered it.
Okay, brother.
All right. See you.
See you later. All right. There we go. So yeah, you don't have a whole lot of, and I think Hugh can probably testify to that. That when you're putting strings on a guitar with a Bigsby, there's not a lot of extra string to be able to get them wound onto the machine heads. And if you own a guitar with a Bigsby, you definitely know what I'm talking about. It's just a little extra kind of step that you got to take. That I ain't complaining, am I? Okay. All right. Okay, now I know you can't see what I'm doing down here because my camera's pointed right at my shoulder. All right, well, let's point you here with what I'm doing. So I only got this much string. It's not much to work with. So it'd be cool if Ernie Ball would, you know, make their strings another inch longer. That would be a big help, because you can imagine, you can see that's all the string that's left on that treble E string that I had to work with to get the string on there. It's not simple, but you're a little guy like me, it's not that big of a deal. But if you had great big fingers, boy, you'd have a heck of a time, probably. I don't know, I thought I might be close to being in tune. Man, I remember working on this one now. So take a look down here. I'll show you what I've got going here. So this bridge, as you could notice when I put it in there, it wasn't. It wants to pull forward with the tension of the strings, right? These screws coming out the back here are sticking up higher than the top of the saddle. So if the string were, and of course every string needs to go over right where that screw is sticking up. So there's contact being made with the string on the string here. Okay, well, I'll have to see what I can do about that. Anyway, Rogue, hello, man. Joe McGraw, hello. Plenty of girth. Fingers aren't long. Huge and okay. Yeah. Hey, Joe. Well, you didn't miss a lot, dude. I spent half of this stream thus far helping customers. I had to walk away for a while, so you didn't miss a lot, man. And never apologize. I always say that. Tom Petty said it best. I think there was an interview that he gave one time, and the interviewer said, "Oh, I'm sorry," or something like that, and he just never apologized. It was awesome. Just don't let it happen again. That's the best apology, I think. Somebody also said that apologizing is always only good for the person apologizing, but I think sometimes it might help somebody feel a little better about what may have happened. I don't know. Yeah, everywhere, every one of these strings is going to hit these screws. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to have to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse this, which will make these screws virtually impossible to adjust the intonation, but we're going to have to do that because they don't work like this. I put it in with the screws going this direction, facing that direction, so I could intonate it but it's obviously not going to work. So that was my mistake. And the direction of those typically doesn't matter unless your saddle moves as much as this one does. So I'm hoping let's see. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. All right, look at that. I did it. I got it. Now these strings, the job of these strings is to get totally tangled up now and go everywhere but where I want them to go. There we go. Well, that's going to make this situation a little bit better. I'm never a fan of these multi-slotted saddles. Just not a fan, but you know, they work. But every time you string up a guitar, the saddles are in a different place than they were the last time, or the string is coming down the neck in a different place than it was the last time you put them on there. So you have to go through and readjust your string spacing, get it right, and then if one of your strings lands on one of the set screws, I think you can see the problem with this. There are way better ways to do that. But I did not clean this guitar at all. I think it's better off just being left kind of dirty, because it's an old guitar. Now, I think I asked a question earlier, and I'm curious as to what the answers might be, and I may have gotten some, but I didn't pay any attention to the answers. Let's see. Yeah, roller bridges. Yeah. Oh, Joe. Yeah. I don't know. Rogue, take care, brother. I could do strings faster on a Floyd than I can on one of these, but I've owned a Floyd Rose impregnated guitar for decades, so I got pretty good at it. Just because you don't have to do all this, all you got to do is snip it and a little bit of an Allen key turn. But yeah, I hear you. My question was, what not what necessarily what strings you use, but when you purchase guitar strings, how many do you buy them in bulk, meaning you buy a box of 10 or 12 sets, or do you buy just a 3-pack once in a while, or do you just buy one set of strings whenever you need them? What's your policy for buying guitar strings? And where do you buy them? You got your favorite online music store that you use? So we got all strings on here, and this is looking good. I mean, as good as it can. It's a Bigsby. And my pickup needs to come up, so that is good. I love it. So this is going to work great. Let's make a little preemptive strike on this pickup height. I'm just kind of getting a number one. I'm leveling it off right now. Okay, so that's now we'll have to start measuring. All right. Now this string needs to go over. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking down the neck of the guitar and getting the strings to be proper spacing with these little saddles like they are. Trying doing my best to not run a string right over the adjustment screw. Let me center to. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. These two saddles, unfortunately, the spacing on them isn't right, but we're gonna go ahead and call that a day. I'm looking down this thing, down the fingerboard, making sure the strings are coming straight down. That looks pretty good. I'll let you take a look. Tell me what you think. We do good. These two are spaced, they're a little too far away, but if I move this one over one spot, well, what do you think? I don't use my eye. Okay, Joe, good to hear. Good for you. 3 sets. Yeah, okay. Big multi-packs. Yeah. I don't get anything for free, but you're lucky. One set of strings over a year ago. Okay, my knees are a good answer. You need to play your guitar more so you put strings on it. I say that to everybody. If you ain't wearing out strings, you're not playing your guitar enough. Yeah, does that look good to you, Hugh? I'm hoping. Yeah, I think I've got good spacing on both sides, and they look nice and straight coming down the fingerboard. The fingerboard is narrower here than it is here, so I want to make sure that that's consistent. It looks really good right now. So let's do the good old-fashioned stretching and tuning on a Telecaster. So I'll put the camera down here. I can't wait to hear this guitar. How many guys get to play through a pickup made in 1951? Probably a few, maybe a few. Alright, so I think that's F. Oop. I haven't done this for a while on my show, on my live streams. I try to leave this part out just because. Now, one thing I have noticed is that this thing, this pickup has tapered pull pieces, so I have to be real careful on setting the pickup height, which this one is where it was, and I'm probably not going to touch it. I don't think there's any need to adjust that one. Now, just like a Floyd Rose, you know, you got a spring here that this tension, so you got to get all that stuff balanced really nicely. So, you know, it takes a little longer to do a Bigsby than it does to do a normal, well, to call them normal, that's not really fair, but trying to get all these, okay. I've seen guys doing this and they use a rag to kind of protect their fingers because they end up doing that. But I don't know. Being a ex-plumber, I'm cool with that. That's okay. It just proves that I was working, right? And I didn't clean the neck. I did none of that. I'll let this. It's not too dirty as it is. So it's got a little bit of finger crud up in here, but this guitar is so old. And you know, a couple other historical facts about this guitar. It was refretted and refinished, the neck, by my journeyman. He's the one that did this work on the fingerboard. Leveled, fret, did the edges of these frets. I mean, it's perfect. You couldn't. Paul Reed Smith doesn't do them that well. So I can see that one needs to move over.
Yeah, of course I wrote the right on the darn.
All right.
Perfect.
Alright, let's set our pickup height. And the only one I'm going to adjust is this one. I want to leave the other ones exactly where they were. That's where he's been playing this guitar, and I don't feel like it's a good move for me. There's a little bit of wax on this, probably from this pickup. I'm going to leave that. I probably made that mess. I'm going to leave it just because I can. And the guy that owns this guitar knows me. And he always gets his guitars back clean, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a change change up on him. I identify as a dirty guitar tech. Right? We have fun. All right, so I'm at 430 seconds right there, and then we'll check this one. We got wax on that cover. We're at 430 seconds over there, so we're going to bring this up a bit, and I'm going to tilt the front back, which just moved the whole thing. Oop, come on. Still a little bit low on that side, and we're looking good on this side. A little bit low over here. There we go. It's looking nice and level. We're almost ready to play this thing. Almost. Doggone it. The screwdriver fell on the floor. And I gotta find my flathead screwdriver. Again, somebody else borrowed it. So I'm gonna find it. Now, I'm doing this kind of backwards here, but I want to hear this guitar. So let's plug it in and see what she sounds like. What do you think? You ready for this? Now, I've shielded this thing, and I have no idea how noisy it was before I did all the shielding touch-up work on it, so it should be pretty quiet. There we go. Let's turn off. Okay, let's turn the volume off. Now this thing has all sorts of switches and controls and stuff on it. So let's see what this thing sounds like. Here we go. Let me get my glasses out of the way so I don't bang this guitar up any worse than it already is. Okay. If you're playing live, remember to remove the snark tuner off of your headstock when you're playing. I know I'm not plugged in yet. So I can tell every time I bend a note on this thing, it changes the tuning, it flattens the string out. But that's the price we pay for a Bigsby. Okay, so right now the switches are both in the up position. We've got the tone fully turned up and we're on the bridge position pickup. Toggle switches don't do anything with that pickup while it's by itself, so they're probably a coil tap and maybe a phase. And it's a 5-way switch. Be careful with those switches, boy. You'd be playing along and you do that, your guitar volume just got killed. Let's see. That's the humbucker. So that turns the humbucker into a humbucker, I think. And that turned the humbucker into a single coil pickup. So yeah, definitely humbucker, single coil. That's all this switch does. And I'm still uncertain, I think. So it didn't do anything. Okay. So that's a humbucker. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that's a phase, and this is definitely changes the humbucker to a single coil. be careful of that switch. That's the bridge. That's a pickup we just put in this thing. Works. So what he's asked me to do is do a full setup on this thing. Really just wanted to double check the work that I've done thus far and make sure that it plays, and it does, and the pickup sounds great. I don't have anything to compare it to with what was in it, aside from this is what was in it, what it looked like. It's a Seymour Duncan, made in the USA. It's a 1BR, one bridge, obviously, and then the pickup that I put in it is an original 1951 Fender single coil bridge pickup out of a Telecaster. So kind of cool to get to hear that. I don't know if many of you have heard played a 1951 Fender Telecaster before, but I'm one of the lucky dudes that can say he has at this point. Yeah, actually 40, yeah, the Telecaster, yes. Before that it was obviously a broadcaster, and then they got sued by Gretsch, whatever. And Gibson is following suit with all of that BS by thinking they trademarked the Les Paul shape after not saying it for decades, which I'm really happy about that, because that's going to open up a lot of very nice affordable guitars, and maybe Gibson will have to pay back Ibanez for all that they did to Ibanez back in the day, now that their trademark lawsuit it's not finalized. Of course, it's being what do you call it, Appealed. It's being appealed. So I've got a full setup to do on this thing before I can say that my work here is done. Never even played a pre-80. Oh yeah, okay. Clayton, come on, brother. All right. No old guitars. Yeah. Yeah, Hugh, man. I mean, this is not truly. I'm saying I'm playing a 51. This was pick up the body of it and the copper plate on the bottom. All that stuff was made in 1951. But to my understanding, this pickup has been rewound twice, both by Lindy Fralin, as far as I understand. And Lindy is one, if not the most experienced pickup winder, minus the ladies who wound them for Fender back in the 50s. They wound tens of thousands of them, probably, and very famous for that. There were like 4, I think, people at Fender that were winding pickups that have become very famous for their pickup sound. So yeah, pretty cool to get to play through this thing. And so now I've got a bit of setup work to do, and you guys have all seen guitar setups done so many times on so many different channels. I'm not gonna make you watch me do that. I'm not gonna make you do anything. Yeah, and he commented that he used the black rope to cover the windings, and they have been wax. The pickup was wax dipped. What do they call that? They put wax on them and try and help keep all the windings together, and to help make a mess out of your guitar when it gets warm enough to melt the wax and all that. So most pickups, they dip them in wax. What do they call that? There's a special word for that. I can't remember. Just wax dipped, I guess. That's not a misunderstanding on that. You know, and I've adjusted the pickup height just to kind of give it a little test. But before I go, what we're going to do is check our grounding one last time. So yes, I'm setting a electrical tester on the body of a 51 Telecaster, and I'm currently not seeing any grounding on that. Why is that? Oh, there it goes. Oh, because I'm on the wrong setting. I'm still not seeing any ground. Yeah, there we go. The metal on this is really potted or pitted really bad. I'm just going to check the strings. See if the strings are. I know they're grounded because I would get a bunch of interesting that. Yeah, that's all good. And I'm gonna go see if I can. I don't know if I can touch. I can't quite get this. Can't quite get these feeler gauges down in there, but if we got ground clear to the Bigsby, that's going to be good. Come on. Yep, everything's shielded, so I can't test the shielding on the back of the pick guard just because obviously I can't touch that. So I think we've done a good job. I'm pretty happy with the work that I've done today. So y'all, I'm gonna let you go. You guys have a really great day, and I may come back live tomorrow. I check my time. Yeah, we're sneaking right up on 2 o'clock. I'm going to have to go eat lunch. I may come back tomorrow after I've set this thing up and play it a little bit for y'all. Have a really wonderful rest of your Thursday or Friday or Wednesday, whatever day it is, wherever you happen to be. Yeah. What brand or type? Hang on, I'll tell you. That's a great question, and it sounds awesome. I'll tell you, because I sent the photographs of it. It is a signature Steve Morse humbucker made by DiMarzio USA. And the way I know that is because I took a photograph of it. I don't know if you can see my camera clearly in this, but it is a Steve Morse signature. And again, I took a photograph of that so you can see it. I'm going to see if that's coming across clearly. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it. That's the back of it. The neck single coil is definitely and obviously not on a 51 Tele. It wouldn't have had a neck pickup in it to begin with, but it is definitely not a stock Tele pickup, and I believe it's from a Stratocaster just due to the shape and the graduated or altered pole piece heights to fit the neck radius like Fender did back in the day, which I think is a very smart thing to do, but you've got to make sure that the graduated pole pieces fit your neck radius. Otherwise, some of them are going to be too close and some of them are going to be too far away. Whereas like on a Les Paul, you know, you've got this flat pickup and you set the treble side to 3/30 seconds and you set the bass side to 4/30 seconds. Well, the middle ones are further away from the strings. Which there are guys out there that adjust those screws on those to make sure that they're the same height all the way across. I'm not that picky. And I've been playing Les Pauls for most of my life, and I'm not complaining. Yep. Yeah, so I did take a lot of photographs, just so you guys know. I took a lot of photographs of this guitar and have sent those to the owner of the instrument. And I will send him a link to this video so he can watch what I did and see everything that you guys saw, including the long break. And I will we're going to lose the chat, which is kind of a bummer, but I'll probably go back and edit that part out of the video just to make this video a little more, and this whole section. So you guys have a really wonderful rest of your day. Maybe we'll see you soon, maybe tomorrow. All right, peace.